Ons gesels 'n bietjie finansies vanoggend hier op die groot ontbyt. Charisse Gregory is hier by ons van Aluma Capital. Sy is die bedryfsdirekteur en sy gaan 'n bietjie met ons gesels oor hulle 10de bestaansjaar en ook gaan ons bietjie stil staan by Suid-Afrika se ekonomie vir 2025. Charisse, welcome to the
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
So wonderful to have you. Well, congratulations on your 10 years, but we'll elaborate a bit more later on.
Sounds good.
That's amazing. We're 10 years old as well this year.
Well,
So-
yeah. Cheers us. All right.
Absolutely. Okay, so what are the key factors that could influence South Africa's economic growth in 2025?
You know, Francois, I think we actually are lined up for a very exciting year in terms of South Africa and in terms of what we're expecting. There's a variety of factors that could change the trajectory of South Africa this year.
Yeah.
I think consumer protection, first and foremost, that always plays a major role. Inflation, as it stands currently, we're obviously keeping quite a sharp eye on inflation. Investor confidence, and then obviously infrastructure concerns. So I think looking back at 2024, we actually ended the year on a positive note. I think there was immense investor confidence post the May 2024 elections. South Africa all of a sudden felt that there was a new blood in South Africa. It just felt that everyone got really, really excited again, which was fantastic. And in essence, that seeps into investor confidence, which is great. We've seen interest rates decreasing. We have seen inflation decreasing. So as a whole, I think we're actually geared up for a really positive 2025. We're very aware of the fact that there's some infrastructure challenges in the country. We're talking to a South African audience. Everyone's very aware of the infrastructure challenges. I think the major one to be aware of is the railways. So that is having a bit of an impact on trade. There have been some very strong strategies that the government have put forward to address them. God willing, we see them come into fruition. But I think as a whole, Aluma Capital, we're highly, highly confident for 2025. We believe it's going to be a good year for the country.
Well, if the politicians can sort out their issues,
wouldn't that be nice?
the government, then that would be wonderful.
It's in it to America as well, okay? It's not just us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Charisse, what would you say, what strategies can investors implement to safeguard their investments against uncertainties?
You know what? The response to that is always the same, and that is diversification. You cannot, what did Gran tell you one day? Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. You need to be aware, what are the various structures out there? How are they performing? What are their investment terms? What is the risk involved? So that is always our response to clients. Whatever strategy you do, if you're looking to generate wealth, you need to be mindful that you need to have a diversified strategy. You need to be investing in multiple different structures, opportunities. That way you just safeguard yourself against. You don't want to put everything into one structure. It goes belly up and then you're sitting with no retirement funds.
Very true.
Okay, well, if you look at the financial or the investment firms that you can invest in or work with, what should you consider as an investor? What key factors?
You know what? For me, it always comes down to trust. In essence, you need to know that whoever you've chosen to invest with, do you trust them first and foremost? So are you aware, are they a reputable investment company? I think that's the most logical.
Exactly.
If you've seen an ad on Facebook Marketplace and you've gone onto their website and their website is a little bit of a Wikipedia based, you've got to walk away at that point. But you know what? For us, it all comes down to trust. It just comes down to understanding that are they reputable? Do they have a good name? And then obviously, and most importantly, do they have the necessary legislative requirements? Are they bound? Are they committed to a various authority? So we've seen a lot of investment firms in the last 3 years, unfortunately, some rather unscrupulous investment firms, which when you actually do a little bit of background information, they weren't part of the FSCA. They weren't abiding by, fixed rules and guidelines.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you're not going to go to a restaurant that does not have the right, culinary requirements. It's the exact same thing. You just need to make sure that they're reputable, and you just need to understand that, in essence, you're choosing to invest with them, so you have to have that level of trust.
Indeed. Please explain to me, I still don't know what's the difference between a hedge fund investment firm and a discretionary investment provider.
The only thing I know
You can draw pictures as well.
There was like an animation movie over the hedge. That's the only thing I know.
And that's probably the best explanation. I could go with that. That's the right answer. Okay. You know what? I'm going to give it to you in, it's a short one-word answer. answer. A hedge fund, in essence, the investor has got less control. So you
Less control.
Less control. So you're saying, all right, I'm going to provide my money through to you. There is going to be an expert team who are going to make financial decisions on my behalf. I'm investing for this term. Let's say the term could be 3 years. Let's say the term could be 5 years. And you've got little to no involvement. At the end of the term, you get a fixed return. So it is you see a lot of short selling on the hedge fund side. You have got a little bit less control. However, you do have quite a nice high return at the end.
Okay.
On the other side, on the more discretionary side, the investor is slightly more involved in the process. So you're able to sit down and say, okay, cool, fantastic. I do give you authority to invest on my behalf. However, there is a little more liquidity in terms of the structure of the selling. So it isn't necessarily you're going to go into a hold for 5 years and you know in 4 years, no matter what, you have to withdraw from that hold in order to meet your investors' requirements. There's a little more movement, a little more client involvement, more access to capital. It is.
So it's a preference thing. The one isn't necessarily worse than the other or better than the other.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, well, let's get to Aluma Capital. 10 years.
Thank you.
Amazing decade of what has happened in your firm. What are the success stories and why, would you say, have you been successful?
You know, I think in essence it comes down to client service. For us, at the end of the day, in South Africa, I think the South African landscape, South Africans are incredibly trusting, however, could possibly be quite unforgiving. And at the end of the day, everything comes down to customer service. So I think any company, as of yourselves,
yes,
you only get to a 5-year term if you've actually met your clients' needs.
Yeah.
And if you've
built the trust.
You've built the trust, you've provided them with the customer service they're looking for. Can I tell you something? It doesn't matter how incredible your returns are. It doesn't matter how remarkable your marketing is. At the end of the day, if you're not actually meeting a customer where they need to be met, and you're not providing them with that level of service, in essence, you're not going to get to 2 years, let alone 10. So from my side, I would say it's been our customer service as well as our client-centric approach.
Sure.
At the end of the day, we know that everything we do, you have to consider the end user, you have to consider the investor. And that, in essence, dictates all of our decisions and all of our strategies.
Well, eventually, it is all about the investor.
Completely. We are only here because of our investors. Our strength is their strength.
Yeah, you're the facilitator to make things happen for the investor.
Yeah. So as you celebrate Aluma Capital's 10th anniversary, are there any unique product offerings or exciting developments that investors can look forward to this year?
We have a lot lined up, I must be honest. We really, I think, and the irony is we actually usually have quite a bit lined up for the year, but I think because this is our anniversary, we have pretty much gone all out. But we have some remarkable products, as you know, as it stands currently. So our products do deliver incredibly high returns, 13.2%. We do offer protection on our investments, and in many ways we've enhanced on that. We've changed some of our investment strategies. We have gone into different industries. We're seeing a lot of cryptocurrency coming up. We're seeing a lot of biotechnology. So from our side, it's going to be an exciting year in terms of how we diversify, in terms of how we invest. As always, going back to the comment made earlier, for us, our clients and our investors are the center of everything we do. So we have quite a lot of client functions, very elite functions we're going to be hosting this year, which we're excited about. And I must be honest, I think it's going to be a good year for us. We really are. We're in a good space.
Okay, so what would you say makes Aluma Capital unique?
I would say our investment strategy. So, you know what, our returns are incredibly high. However, we're not the only company who offer high returns.
Okay.
I think it is our investment strategy. It's how we deploy capital. It's the various sectors we go into. We will not enter a sector, we will not enter a company without doing immense research into it, understanding what are the moving parts within that sector, how does it impact investors, what level of risk are we carrying into this structure. And I think in essence, it's being able to have a very, very unique investment strategy, which is completely dictates our returns for our customers as well as the protection we offer them.
Well, Charisse, for a mother who only had 2 hours sleep last night, you are amazing. And you know you feel so well.
That's because you have a fantastic makeup artist outside, okay?
Well, all the best with Aluma Capital, and may you just have an awesome year.
Brilliant,
And
as may you as well. Congratulations.
To the
on your
next 10 years.
Absolutely.
Ja.
Nou ja, dit dan Charisse Gregory wat by ons gekuier het vanoggend van Aluma Capital, die bedryfsdirekteur, en natuurlik meer vir ons vertel oor die werk wat hulle doen as ook 'n beleggingsmaatskappy. As jy meer wil uitvind oor Aluma Capital, is jy baie welkom te gaan na hulle webtuiste en dit is baie maklik. aluma.co.za. aluma.co.za of skakel die nommer nog makliker 012 012 5291. 012 012 5291. Dis hy.